10 cheapest places to live and make a good wage. Do you frequently catch yourself daydreaming about overseas experiences and traveling to other locations while gazing out your cubicle window at your work? Many of us have the same desire of escaping the 9 to 5 grind, and more individuals are really doing it. Sure, you say, perhaps I'll work abroad if I win the lotto. Well, dream no more, because you can go somewhere else where you can live the life you've always ever wanted, and the good news is that travel doesn't have to be expensive. There are numerous reasonably priced countries where you can live, work, and possibly even vacation while getting considerably more for your money. The majority of people assume that long-term travel or living abroad will be extremely expensive, and yes, if you choose pricey destinations, your hard-earned money may not go very far. But you might be amazed at how well you can live on a moderate wage if you stay away from popular, extremely costly locations like Italy or Australia and stick to some of the cheapest countries to live and work in, when you might be traveling the world, enjoying adventures, and making a good living. So why toil away in a downtown office? In reality, one of the main incentives for many people to relocate and find employment abroad is the low cost of living. Your expenses should be reduced even though salaries are frequently lower. Additionally, there are lots of high-paying professions to be had, allowing you to live in a low-cost location while yet stretching your budget even further. Number 1 is Vietnam. Vietnam is any budget traveler's dream if they wish to live and work in an exotic location without spending a fortune. For foreigners, it's one of the best and most affordable places to reside. There is a lot to see and do in Vietnam, despite the fact that it is still somewhat of an undiscovered gem when it comes to affordable places to live and explore. Vietnam is a place for travelers seeking adventure, as well as beautiful landscapes to explore and delectable native cuisine. Ho Chi Minh City in the south, Hanoi, the nation's capital, in the north, and Da Nang in the country's center are the major cities. These cities will have the majority of jobs. Any tourist on a tight budget who wants to live and work abroad without breaking the bank should consider Vietnam. It's one of the best and most economical places for foreigners to live. Vietnam is still somewhat of an unknown treasure when it comes to reasonably priced areas to live and explore, but there is still a lot to see and do there. Travelers looking for adventure, stunning landscapes to explore, and mouth-watering local cuisine should consider Vietnam. The Vietnamese dong, one of the few currencies that has fallen in value against the dollar in recent years, is currently valued at roughly 23,000 Vietnamese dong is to $1. Teaching English is the most sought-after occupation for foreigners in Vietnam. There are many chances for English teachers, and the average monthly salary is better than in many of the nearby nations at $1,100 to $1,700 US. The cost of living in Vietnam varies depending on the city or region you choose to reside in, as it does in most other nations. Of course, living in cities like Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi is more expensive, but the pay is also higher. If you stick to local eateries or street food, a small flat fee may be rented for about $250 per month, while meals outcost about $1 to $3 and about $10 in Western-style eateries. Local public transportation costs as little as 30 cents, while taxi fares start at just 50 cents per kilometer. Next up, Costa Rica. Not simply because it's one of the 10 cheapest places to live, Costa Rica is undoubtedly the most well-known nation in Central America. You will fall in love with this country and its pura vida feel right away thanks to the lush jungles, beautiful beaches, and welcoming residents. Additionally, Costa Rica is one of the least expensive nations for Americans to live in, so you won't have to go bankrupt while residing and working there. Finding inexpensive flights from the U.S. is very simple, which increases the allure of visiting Costa Rica. Costa Rica is more expensive than neighboring nations like Guatemala and Nicaragua, but the salary premium more than makes up the difference. Popular professions to apply for are teaching English, tourism, and scuba diving. The cost of living ranges from $3 to $6 for a dinner at a nearby restaurant, from $300 to $800 a month for rent depending on the size and location of the apartment, and from 70 cents per trip for local transportation. Third spot is Bulgaria. Bulgaria may surprise you as one of the cheapest places to live and work, but bear with us. If the high cost of living in nations like France and Italy deters you from working and living abroad in Europe, focus your attention on Eastern Europe. Bulgaria is one of the least expensive places to live in Europe and has swiftly gained popularity among tourists. Popular professions to apply for is tourism and teaching English. Cost of living. A one-bedroom apartment with basic amenities may be rented for as little as $230 per month. A lunch at a cheap restaurant will cost you about $5, and public transportation trips can be as inexpensive as $1. Next on the list is Mexico. Why go further than necessary when Mexico is typically only a quick flight away for Americans and Canadians? Everybody can benefit from Mexico. Think of the pristine Caribbean waters, the Mayan ruins and rainforest, and relaxed beach villages along the Pacific. Oh, and have we already brought up the street food? The food is not only mouth-watering, but also quite affordable, with options ranging from tacos to tamales, ceviche to aguas frescas. Living expenses might be considerably lower than in Western cities if you stay away from tourist traps like Cancun or Playa del Carmen and choose more regional locations instead like Merida or Guanajuato. Popular occupations in this area include sales, tourism, and English teaching, and au pair. Au pairs are caretakers from another country who live in your home and provide childcare in exchange for the cultural experience of living in an American family. Cost of living expenses range from $200 to $500 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, with street food starting at $1 per meal and a monthly pass for local transportation starting at $16. Another country is South Africa. Do you genuinely wish to work and live abroad but are concerned about misinterpreting certain words? You no longer need to worry because there are also some reasonably priced English-speaking nations such as South Africa, which ranks number 5 on our list of the greatest and most affordable places to live. South Africa may be the least expensive English-speaking nation to reside in. You won't need to attend language school, and most South African cities have a high level of living that is comparable to that of Western cities, which will make the transition much simpler. This puts it in the running to be the least expensive English-speaking nation to live in. The southernmost country in Africa is also one of the world's most culturally and racially diverse nations. As if that weren't enough, you won't get bored in South Africa because there are safaris, whale watching, river rafting, and zip lines, among other activities. Even though South Africa is an English-speaking nation with 10 other official languages, teaching English is still a common choice. Additionally, there are a wide variety of opportunities in tourism and with multinational corporations are available. The cost of living is quite inexpensive. A domestic beer costs about $1.70, a one-bedroom apartment rents for about $350 to $500 per month, and meals at nearby restaurants start at $8. Number 6 is China. While China may not be your traditional work-abroad location, it is possible to work there and earn a very good living. There are numerous jobs available and higher salaries than in many other Asian nations. Additionally, the economy is booming. Of course, living in a big city like Shanghai or Beijing would cost more money, but incomes will also be much greater. Many work-abroad programs will offer events and even throw in free Mandarin classes, so you might end up learning a completely new language while there. China is an amazing nation to explore. The most sought-after profession for foreigners in China is teaching English, although it is simple to get au pair positions. If you stay away from the largest cities, the cost of living in China can be surprisingly affordable. Lunch at a nearby restaurant costs about $3, and rent for a one-bedroom apartment starts at $300. Number 7 is South Korea. Although South Korea isn't the most affordable place to work and live, it made this list because of the highly competitive earnings and the frequent inclusion of free housing in programs, which greatly lowers the cost of living. Given that South Korea is renowned as one of the best locations in the world for teaching English as a foreign language, teaching English is the natural career choice. The beautiful and diverse countryside, the amazing food, and the kind people make Korea an excellent place to work, explore, and save money. Korea's contemporary cities are on par with those in the US and Europe. Popular employment hotspots include sales and teaching English. Although Korea's cost of living is greater than that of Southeast Asian nations, it is still quite reasonable, with one-bedroom apartments starting to rent for about $375 and restaurant meals beginning at $6. Number 8 is Thailand. Thailand must be mentioned on any list of the best and most affordable nations in the world. Travelers from all over the world had already fallen in love with a country of smiles before the release of the film The Beach. Even in populated areas like Bangkok and Chiang Mai, the cost of living is incredibly inexpensive. Beach resorts typically cost a little bit more, but they are still inexpensive when compared to other beach resorts throughout the globe. Thailand is the ideal country to live and work because of its clean waters, rich culture, and mouth-watering cuisine. To top it off, Thailand is also one of the safest and least expensive countries in which to reside. If you're looking for work, English teaching is the most prevalent career here. However, there are also hospitality positions available. In Chiang Mai, for instance, you can get by quite well on $600 a month at street booths, markets, and food courts. In malls, $1 lunches are available. In a building designed in the West, rent for a private studio can be as cheap as $150 per month. The cost of a bus ride starts at about 30 cents. Next is Peru. Peru might be the ideal nation for you if you're looking for a once-in-a-lifetime trip on a tight budget. Plus, it's one of the least expensive places to live and work. Your dollar would go a lot further here than it would in other South American nations because it is one of the world's least expensive countries. Any visitor must hike the Inca Trail and visit Machu Picchu, but there are also a lot of other lesser-known treasures to find. You will have plenty of time to visit the Inca Kingdom, from the Ica sand dunes to the Amazon rainforest, if you live and work in Peru. Here are popular professions to apply for: English teaching, volunteering for charities, and working on conservation initiatives are popular careers here. But you can also find work in marketing or tourism. Let's talk cost of living. A one-bedroom apartment can be rented for as little as $250, while a meal at a nearby market will cost you between $1 and $3. Another country is Poland. Poland is another wonderful and reasonable alternative if you have your heart set on working and living in one of the most affordable nations in Europe. Poland, which is far less well-known than its neighbor Germany, is gradually developing into a popular destination for tourists and expatriates. The major cities of Warsaw and Krakow are quite contemporary and offer all the amenities found in the West, but at a fraction of the cost of a trip to Germany. Teaching is a possibility, but there are a variety of well-paying professional service jobs out there as well. Poland is a popular travel destination as it is a member of the Schengen area and therefore visa-free. If you're looking for work, customer service and English teaching are in-demand careers here. The cost of living is quite inexpensive in Poland. A supper out at a budget restaurant costs just around $5, while rent for a one-bedroom apartment starts at about $350. Don't forget to like and click that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share this video with your travel buddies. Till next time, safe travels!